This is Danny with QuadLugs, and we're going to be doing the build on the 250 Mini. This is our new version, version 3 of the 250 Mini, and our parts, and I'll show you in a few minutes, they're actually a little bit different than what we were doing before. Extremely strong, makes for a very, very nice flyer. This is our new action camera isolation mount. And this is not only going to be used for this 250 Mini, but it fits all of our other frames also. Of course, we're going to have a good old sticker. We'll have the Velcro battery straps. Now, one thing we're going to be furnishing with this, and this is pretty neat, it's a HT60 plug to go onto your 250 Mini. And it actually has a place to screw it on. And this is pretty neat too. You don't really need any heat shrink with this. This just goes over and snaps on. So we'll include that in there. And we'll go over that a little bit later when we do the electronics install. And of course, we're going to have the parts for the 250. This is the front, and these are the back. We have 4 side pieces we'll go over in a little bit, and we have 2 of the camera mounts, adjustable camera mounts. And this is for your FPV camera here. And then we'll have 2 half by half. This is all basswood again, half by half, and these are 8.5 inches long. And this will allow you to put a 5x3 prop, 5x4 prop, but it limits, the limit is a 5-inch prop. Now, if you want to go to 6-inch props, these can be bought, and your arms can just be, made a little bit longer, and you have room to run your 6-inch prop. This is the top and the bottom and the middle plate. We have holes already laser cut in for one of the side pieces to go on, and that's to hold your battery connector. But as we go through this, you can see you can put the battery connector in a lot of different places. So that's the neat thing about this frame. And not only that, but we'll have another video out after this one, of course, for the electronics. And we'll also have another video out because these same items can be used to build a tri, a 250 tri. And we're going to go through that in a later video. Really nice flyer too. Anyway, let me get this put aside and we're going to get started. Let me go ahead and show you one that's built. And really nice flyer. That's the connector there. This is our camera mount on front, and this is our FPV camera mount. You can set the angle on it however you want. You can have it, straight, or you can kick it back. It's very easy to install and very easy to adjust your angle on it. And the way we've made these pieces here is totally protected, as from a front hit. This is made flat here to put lights on here if you want. We're going to go through that in a few other videos that's coming up. And of course, your side pieces that I was talking about, which they come looking like that, they can also be used. This one here, I'm using it for my battery, and also I'm using one here for my receiver. You can also put one in the back, and you can run your FPV out this way and connect it here. So, to save your transmitter inside, just be the antenna tying onto there. Or you can have it come straight out. Another thing you can do too, you can have your battery connector. Instead of here, you can put it here if you want to. Now, after you've used 3 of these, if you use them in this configuration, you still have 1 left. You can cut it in half, and you can actually put it in on the side, and you can put sides on the 250. Works really good, and we'll go through that in the future also. But it makes for a real good setup. Now the camera isolation mount here is set at a fixed angle. We have a swivel mount that's going to be out really soon. Hopefully, you know, a month or so. I'll say really soon, a month and a half. And the at that time, this is going to be up to, you'll be able to set any angle you want on this. And not only will it work here, but we'll show you in the future, it also works on all of our other frames. Pretty neat. And also, this is going to double as our gimbal mount for the Caddy, which is going to be coming out in about 2 months. So really neat how this turned out. So also, you know, you can, being that it's wood, you can do it in colors too. So you can absolutely paint it up any which way you want. And this is just one of them here. This is another. This is another, and this one here, and I haven't put the screwed the arms, I mean the motor mounts on yet. This has our carbon fiber booms on this one. So this is something we're going to have out really soon, and the kit will be able to, you'll be able to buy the kit either with wood or carbon fiber on the boom itself. We're going to go ahead and get started now. These are our plates and these are our arms, and you know, of course, if you wanted to paint it, this would be a good time to paint it before we get started. A lot of times I will go ahead and put it together, take it apart, paint it, put it back together. But, you know, just whatever you want to do. We're going to go ahead and get our middle plate and set it down. And we're going to use that for a support on this, in this area right here. So whenever we put this on, we're going to set it like that. And, you know, it will support it, makes it a lot easier screwing it down. We're going to go ahead and do our bottom plate first. We're going to go ahead and put it here. The wood is going to go through like this. Now we're going to have quite a few build videos on this, because the unique thing about this is that this is the back. You can go ahead and put it together this way using this area, and that's the normal way we'll be doing it, or the standard way we'll be doing it. But you can also put it here if you want to. This allows you to, you know, either put it down below, or you can turn them over because they're symmetrical, and do it this way. The only thing your compartment here is going to be, you know, on top instead of the bottom. So, you know, you can do it however you want. So whenever you build it, you can turn them, and I do not have this center one screwed in yet. But you can have this compartment at the bottom. This is normally where I put the ESC. And you'll see we're doing a couple of things. We're using a 4-in-1. You can use separate, or on our electronics, we're going to be using the motors with the built-in or the integrated ESCs into it. And we're just going to have a power distribution here. Really nice, neat job to do it that way. But this piece here can be put at the bottom and give you this amount of room, or it can be put on top of this right here and, you know, give you more room here and a little bit less here. So you can change it around. Or you can actually, because these, you know, you can mount these top or bottom, you just turn these around and you can have your compartment at the top small, big at the bottom. You can turn these arms, like I was saying earlier, and put them in this area here. To if you want them low, excuse me, or if you want them low, excuse me, or you can put them up high, you know, leave them here if you want them up high. So it's just a tremendous amount of different things you can do with this. You know, it's going to be all up to you. Or as we have done, we run one arm low, one arm high, and, you know, you can check your flying characteristics, see what you think about that. So a lot of different things you can do, a lot of different things you can try. And this is a real good platform to try different things out. And especially if you're going to do racing with it, you can try, you know, quite a few different configurations to see what suits you and what works better to race with. The pieces here have little nub sticking up right here. Now you can trim them off with a knife or sand it down if you want to, or just leave them on. It really doesn't matter. We're going to be making a few corrections on the mold to eliminate these in the future, and we're working on that now. So in the future, these parts, I'm not going to have these pieces on there like that. But I've been leaving them on, and it works very good. It doesn't get in my way. But if you want, you can definitely just get a knife and be careful using a knife and trim them down. Or just sand them down. So this is going to be the back, and a good way to do this, if you're using the arms for the 5-inch props, and these are 8.5-inch long, you can pretty much measure here. Let me move it, not that much. Thank you. But it's like 3 1/8 from here, or 3 1/16, 3 1/8, a little bit more like it. This is going to get you real close, then you can make minor adjustments. So 3 1/8 from this point right here to here, and that's going to get you real close, at least to get the first one on, then you can adjust it from there. And again, this is our bottom plate. The top plate has the battery straps on it. Bottom plate plain. So we're going to go ahead and put it on. Now, whenever we put these on, you have this ledge right here. It's just going to butt straight up to it. Can't go wrong. Easy, easy, easy. And then you level it up on the side here, and you're good to go. So we're going to go ahead and do that before. Let's go ahead and get our bit. Now we're going to be using a 5/64 bit. So we're good to go, and that's a 5/64. Kind of hard for me to say. Anyway, again, we're pushed up tight here, and we're smooth on the edge. And what you want to do is go ahead and get your bit in the center of this hole here, on all of them that you drill out. If you do that, you'll find that it gives you a little bit of, I call wiggle room, or it's going to give you a little bit of adjustment for your plates, which comes in real handy because this is made it to be pretty tight, and that little bit of adjustment comes in really, really handy. Now on the bottom, we're going to be using our 5/8 screws, and we give you washers for all the screws on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and get these out. And we'll go ahead and put all these washers out. There we go. Now I use my screwdriver for this. You're not going that far with it, and again, this stuff is pretty tough, and you can actually, if your drill's big enough, you'll pull these screws right through the wood, so you want to kind of be careful of that. So we're going to go ahead and move this piece over till we're flush here. There we go. And we're flush there, and let's just kind of double check this measurement. And we should have, about 3 1/8 again. We got the right here. And there we go, that's 3 1/8. And let's double check this one. And that's 3 1/8. And again, I'm measuring from here to there. Good to go. Another way you could do it, this is 2 1/4 inches wide. So, another way you could do it, and I think that's the way we did it before, is just, get the midpoint of this and then go out either way. So you have 2 1/4 outside to outside and do it that way too. But 3 1/8, 3 1/8, you're good to go. And what we're going to do is just shove this up against there again. And again, we're going to put this on our piece of wood. It holds it really nice for us. And we're going to push this against, And again, make sure that we're flush there. And if you're off a little bit, that's okay, as long as you're drilling your hole right in the center. It'll give you enough play between both of them to, you know, maneuver it around or to adjust it. We're going to go ahead and put another washer here. And we'll get this one started. And we have one of them done. Now today we're going to be, on this video rather, we're just going to be doing the frame build, and then we're going to, you know, have the electronics build, and then after that we're going to go ahead and, you know, talk about the different accessories. And we're going to go ahead and put this one on. And we're also going to talk about our carbon fiber booms too after that. I tell you, I'm not having any problems though with the wood. They hold up really, really well. They're really tough, believe it or not. And the one thing I like about it is I don't have to worry about the connectivity problems that you could have or you can have when you have carbon booms. And again, I'm going to put this at 3 1/8. And the one thing about this, if you do break one of these arms, there's 3 1/8 right there. If you do break one of these arms, you take these 2 screws out, take your motors off. You don't have to do it. You don't have to take off any wiring. Just pull your motor mounts off. Take these 2 screws, pull it out, put another one in. You're in good shape. These pieces here, believe it or not, whenever I went out to check on the mold, and you know when they first come out with the first parts. Steve over there had me, he said, this is some real tough stuff. Now I forgot the plastic this is being made out of, but I will, you know, go ahead and put it, you know, in the description below. But I held this thing with a pair of pliers, and he gave me a huge hammer, and he had a metal table, and he said, beat it. And I put it like this, and I beat the tar out of it. It made a little white mark here and here, but everything kept the same shape. It was amazing. Way more than you'd ever have in a collision with this, or, you know, hitting the ground or a tree with this thing. I mean, I literally beat the tar out of it with this big hammer. But anyway, tough, tough stuff. So we're going to go ahead again and put this on our piece of wood. Helps hold it up. And we're going to do this, and I got to talking here. I want to make sure that I have my 3 1/8 on this side. 3 1/8. So we're just checking one for right now. We'll do this one first. Once again, we're going to push this all the way up. Make sure it's, you know, flush on the side. And we're going to drill this hole approximately in the middle. I mean, if you can't get perfect, doesn't matter. But the closer you get, the better it is. You don't have to go very far through this half by half wood. You know, our main concern is to get through this plastic and go into this wood, you know, maybe, I don't know, 1/8 to 1/4 inch, 3/16, something like that. It's plenty good. Yep. Well, again, we're going to get a washer and a 5/8 screw. And I'll show you what we're going to do with this second hole here a little bit later on. But we're going to get this screwed in right now. And we're going to go ahead and move this one over. There we go. Till it's flush here. And let's just double check. We should have 3 1/8 again. 3 1/8. And 3 1/8. These can be off just a little bit. It doesn't hurt anything. You can compensate a little bit, you know, when you put your motor mount on. But I'm going to be real honest with you, if it's off a 1/16 or so, and you do not compensate any way for it, and just leave it that way, they still fly very, very good. no worry there, just as long as it's not, you know, off just a whole tremendous amount. Let me go ahead and get another washer. We're going to go ahead and put this on. Then we're going to be ready to go to the top side. There we go. Now we don't really need the middle piece anymore to hold it. We're going to go ahead and put this. Now I put this on this is the front, this is the back, on my right hand side, your left. And this is the way I normally do it. Now, you know, of course you can put it on this side, you can do anything you want. Now, you'll see when this goes on, it pushes nice and tight into there. And you just want to make sure it's pushed, you know, as you screw it in all the way. And that you're flush on the sides. And we are. And we're going to go into the middle of the hole again. Get a washer again. And once again, we're going to make sure this is level, and you might, you know, be able to move it a little bit, you know, to make sure that it's nice and level, but just make sure it's good there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get these 3 done here, and I'll be right back with you. We'll talk about this ring a little bit more. Okay, just wanted to make a little correction here. I was using 5/8 here. We only use the 5/8 down below because we have to go through that bottom piece of wood. We actually use 3/8 screws here. So I just wanted to break in here and let you know that. Smooth. Okay, I just want to say it one more time, I guess, because I really messed up, is that the 5/8 screws go into the wood only, so these here, everything else is going to be 3/8 screws, 3/8 long screws. Okay, we're getting it, that part's done. Now, we're going to go ahead and, being that I put this side piece on this side, on the right side, I'm going to go ahead and, you know, put this in this way. Now these fit really, really tight, and you may have to sand it just a hair, which you can. You know, you can just sand the end here. But you'll find that most of the time you do not have to do that. You can loosen these screws up. Just loosen them up a little bit. Put this piece in. You have to put it in very level, and you'll find that it goes in really well. And then you can tighten those screws back down and you're in good shape. And let's just get it started nice and level. And I haven't loosened these screws up, I may have to. Yep, let me go ahead and do that, it'll be easier. So we're going to go ahead and loosen these up a little bit. You know, just a turn, turn and a half, or one turn actually, I'm sorry. We're going to go ahead and do that. There we go. And you'll see it slides in. It's a good tight fit. If you're impatient, you can sand it. I suggest you do it this way. It makes for just a super, super tight fit. And then we'll go ahead and tighten these back up. Again, it's just a half a turn, one turn, something like that. That you've loosened it up. There we go. And you'll see this comes nice and smooth. And then we don't have any landing gear with it, but it's going to be riding on these pieces here when you land it. And this part right here becomes really nice and smooth. It works out really good. Makes a good fit. There we go. Now it's starting to shape up. Now, I left this one loose, and I left it loose on all of these others that I built, because these are going to be giveaways, those other ones, and it depends on how you want to set it up as to where you're going to put this. If you want it here, or you can put it on this top side. Either way you want it. Give you, it's what, about 6 millimeters more room in here if you put it on top, and you take about that amount away from here. Plenty of room though. You can do it however you want. We're going to do our build like this. We're going to leave it like this, and when we do electronics, you'll see why, because this is all I need on our electronics side. So let's talk about this. Being that, being that I'm going to leave it here, we're going to actually drill holes here to run a screwdriver through. And this screwdriver is going to wind up going through this opening here. And that's a 1/8 inch hole that we're going to be drilling through this piece here. And then we're going to use our 5/64 bit to drill through this piece. And this will allow us to put the screw in. Being that we're leaving it like this, we're going to go ahead and put screws here that are going to be tying this together. We're not going to be using it for a passageway. So if you're putting it on this top side, you'd go ahead and use this for a passageway for your screwdriver to tighten these up, and you'd go ahead and be putting the screws in that we're locking to the structure here. So depends on whichever way you're doing it. So we're going to go ahead and finish these, and again we're going to put it in the center. We're going to drill through it, and we're going to use a washer and a 3/8 screw. So let me get these drilled out, and I'll be back with you in a minute. And you can see how fast this thing is coming together. It's very, very fast. Now we're going to screw this centerpiece on whenever we go to do our electronics. And we're going to probably start with our power distribution first. Pull this plate off, do it, put it back on, or screw it down, and then do what we need to do, put this back on. they'll be here to pull this one off and do the controls. Next, we're going to go ahead and put our motor mounts on. We'll get our 1/8" bit. And again, if you built any of these, our kits, you know how this works. But if not, you know, there's a round circle right here. When you have it in your hand, you'll see it real clear. Just go in the middle of this and it'll put you, you know, really in the center of this piece. It's really easy to do. You can put the screw sideways if you want to. I normally put it there. So just the way I do it works out really good. So take your 1/8" bit. Go ahead and put it in the middle of that circle and drill it through. And we'll do this one. Go ahead and put these back on. We'll have it smooth. We'll have it smooth. We'll have it smooth. A little bit more. And we have it smooth. Okay. We'll get our 5/64, or we can use a 1/8" bit or 1/16" bit, whichever you want. I normally use a 1/16" bit, and that's what I'll do on these. And again, this is just a pilot hole, maybe halfway through, so you know, 1/4 inch or so is all you need to do. Truth be known, you really don't need it on these, but I like to do it just in case, keep, you know, any splitting. We're going to use our 5/8 long screw, and I'm going to go ahead and put these in, and we'll be right back with you. Okay, and you know, like we were talking about before, just kind of hold it shy a little bit and finish it off with the screwdriver. Works real good. This frame is just about done. So again, we'll screw this middle plate in whenever we, you know, go to put our electronics on in this next video, and we'll go through that. Now this is the front camera mount, and we'll do this later also. But once you've been it, you'll see it turns white right there. But I'm gonna tell you, this thing goes forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and it does not break. It just does that on the initial first, and you'll see it's in great, great shape. Tough stuff. And anyway, this gets put in, and you'll trim the bottom piece. It's a little bit longer than what you need, so you can trim the bottom piece to fit in here, and then when you put it in, the top piece is going to wind up going like this, and the top piece slides up in here. You adjust it where you want it, you put a screw, and you're in good shape. It holds it in, and that's a tough way of putting the camera in. Now, the camera you put in here, and we'll go over that in the next video too. Actually, the third video, we'll mess with the FPV camera, which cameras you can put on here, and mounting the FPV gear, transmitter rather, and antenna, and also the camera mount for the top for your Mobius or your GoPro. So that'll be in the third video. These are the side pieces. We're going to cover this in the next video also when we go to put the electronics on. Again, this right here is where I've put my connector, my battery connector, and this is screw in, and the top and the bottom and the battery connector is going to go there, although you can put it anywhere as you want. You know, it'll fit back in here. So we'll go over that also. So this is Danny with QuadLugs and your frames together. We'll see you next time, and we'll go ahead and start on the electronics and get that put in. Makes for a very, very good frame. Very easy to repair, very tough to start out with.